In the Torah portion, Tisa, we encounter one of the most haunting and perplexing episodes in the Torah, the sin of the golden calf. After 40 days of uncertainty, the Israelites demand a tangible representation of the divine, something they can see, something they can touch. In response, Aaron gathers their gold, casts it into the fire, and voila! Almost as if by magic, out comes the golden calf. The people rejoice, there's dancing, celebration all around this new object of worship. The fundamental problem with the golden calf was that it violated the commandment against making an image of anything in heaven above or on earth below, reducing the infinite God to a fixed, graspable form. While Judaism rejects the idea of original sin, the rabbinic imagination sees the sin of the golden calf as the closest parallel, some sort of spiritual rupture so profound that its consequences reverberate throughout history, requiring ongoing repair, tikkun, in every generation. Yet, just a few chapters later, God commands the construction of the Mishkan, the tabernacle, the portable sanctuary, and at the center of which rests the Ark of the Covenant. Above the Ark, two golden cherubs, Kerubim. They stand, their wings spread out, gazing toward one another. And between them, between their outstretched wings and open space, the divine would speak. At first glance, the contrast seems paradoxical. Both the calf and the cherubim are golden statues, both crafted from the people's jewelry, both intended for worship. Why then is one condemned as an idolatrous betrayal, while the other becomes the sacred locus of God's presence? The key difference lies in what they frame. The golden calf is a solid, self-contained object. It draws attention to itself as an external spectacle, demanding worship that is focused outward rather than inward. Instead of fostering a relationship with the unseen, infinite God, it traps people in the illusion that the divine can be fully contained within a physical form. By contrast, the cherubs, the Kerubim, do not exist to be worshipped. They're hidden behind curtains. They are not the presence of God, but rather they frame that makes space for God. Their very posture turned toward one another, and in between them, we find the broken tablets. This mirrors the encounter of two people studying Torah together, two Hebrutas, study partners, putting together the puzzle of ancient words, having a conversation, creating holy space where the divine presence can dwell. Between them, hollow space, a place of possibility, of presence, a place of encounter. It is hard to say this as a non-native English speaker, but hollow makes or equals hallow. Rabbi Shefa Gold offers this reflection. The Mishkan exists for the space within it. It is a structure that is built to send us to that holy innerness. The important part is not the outer form, but what is inside, for that is where God speaks to us. The further within you get, the more holy is the space. In contrast, the golden calf is solid, existing of and for itself. It glorifies itself. It is full of itself. End quote. This contrast between the solid and the hollow is not just about ancient statues. It is about us. It is about the way we live, the way we practice, and the way we seek God. Too often, we mistake structure for substance, assuming that faith is about fixed answers rather than open searching. We seek something tangible, something solid, something that will anchor us in moments of fear and uncertainty. But this is precisely what idolatry is, mistaking the form for the essence. It is the human tendency to hold onto something concrete rather than embracing the mystery of the divine. By this logic, it is possible to turn even sacred traditions, even religion itself, into a kind of idol. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel warns of this danger. He said, quote, "Religion declined not because it was refuted, but because it became irrelevant, dull, oppressive, insipid. When faith is completely replaced by creed, worship by discipline, love by habit, when the crisis of today is ignored because of the splendor of the past, when faith becomes an heirloom rather than a living fountain, when religion speaks only in the name of authority rather than within the voice of compassion, its message becomes meaningless." End quote. In other words, even prayer and ritual, if performed mechanically, can become like the golden calf, fixed, stagnant, lifeless. If we pray without intention, if we study without the willingness to be transformed by it, if we cling to tradition as a relic rather than a source of living wisdom, we risk mistaking the vessel for the divine. Faith must be dynamic rather than an empty shell. The Israelites, in their fear and longing for certainty, created something they could hold on to. But in doing so, they closed off the very possibility of true connection. The Kerubim stand as the opposite, a structure that leaves room for the sacred. They remind us that our understanding will always be incomplete, that divine truth is never fully contained. The holiest space is not the solid fixed idol, but the hollow, open space where questioning, struggle, and encounter take place. The Kerubim teach us that God is not found in rigid, unchanging objects, but in the encounter between seekers. This is why they face each other, not turned inward in self-absorption, nor outward toward an idol, but toward another presence, another human soul. This is our spiritual challenge. How can we dedicate ourselves to spiritual practice without turning our practice into an idol? The difference between building a Mishkan or golden calf is sometimes very subtle. May we have the wisdom to build our lives not around false certainties, but around sacred openness. May our learning, like the Kerubim, frame a space for the divine to dwell. And may we always turn toward one another, creating holiness in the spaces between.